Welcome everyone to this fascinating deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, where today we will explore the incredible story of the 1964 no-mint Mark 1 cent USA coin that has stunned collectors, shocked enthusiasts, and continues to inspire treasure hunters because this ordinary-looking penny, often dismissed as just another common Lincoln cent, has been discovered in rare variations, errors, and conditions that can drive its value all the way up to an unbelievable $600,000 and beyond, making it one of the most talked about and highly sought after coins in numismatic history. So settle in, because this journey is not only about the coin itself but about the fascinating possibilities that make such a coin so extraordinarily valuable, and why you should be checking your pocket change, old jars, or inherited collections very carefully, since what appears to be worth just a cent could transform into a life-changing fortune. The 1964 penny has a unique place in U.S. history because it was minted during a transitional era for American coinage, with billions of pennies struck that year at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But what makes the no-mint Mark Philadelphia examples so interesting is the sheer number of varieties and errors that slip past quality control, many of which are now considered extreme rarities that can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction, and the reason is simple. Mistakes, anomalies, or unusual conditions in coins turn them from mass-produced objects into collectible artifacts with stories to tell, and collectors love coins that are not only rare but also unique in their flaws. Imagine a coin struck slightly off-center where Lincoln's portrait stretches oddly across the surface, or a coin double-struck so you can see ghostly outlines of features repeating, or even coins struck on the wrong planchets such as dimes or foreign blanks. Each of these represents a minting error that collectors will pay outrageous sums to obtain, and the 1964 penny has produced some of the most jaw-dropping of these errors. Now consider also the fact that in 1964, the U.S. Mint was under pressure with high demand for coinage, leading to rushed production runs, which often caused more mistakes than usual, and that's why coins from this year are particularly rich in varieties. One of the most valuable 1964 no-mint Mark Lincoln cents is the doubled die variety, where the doubling can be seen clearly on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," or even the date itself, and these doubled dies are prized because they are dramatic, visible to the naked eye, and very scarce, and in pristine condition with strong strikes they can command staggering prices. Then there are repunch dates where the numeral 4 in 1964 was stamped multiple times, causing visible overlaps that collectors obsess over, and when combined with mint state preservation these can sell for tens of thousands, adding to the coin's legendary reputation. Another incredible error comes from off-metal strikes where a penny was mistakenly struck on a silver dime planchet, leaving it slightly smaller, lighter, and with a distinctive silvery appearance that makes it instantly recognizable, and examples of such wrong planchet errors from 1964 have been known to sell for six figures. Even off-center strikes can be worth huge money depending on how dramatic they are, because a 50% off-center 1964 penny with clear visible features can be so rare that competitive bidding drives the price into the hundreds of thousands. Collectors also chase die cracks, die breaks, and cut errors, where portions of the die broke away and left raised blobs or missing parts on the coin, making each one a unique piece of minting history. Add to this the fact that coins in flawless mint state, graded MS-67 or higher, are so rare they can bring incredible premiums even without dramatic errors, because the vast majority of 1964 pennies circulated heavily and became worn down. So finding one in nearly perfect untouched condition is like discovering a needle in a haystack. The psychological thrill of owning something so rare, combined with its historical value and the competitive nature of collectors, has caused the prices of these rare 1964 pennies to skyrocket, and auctions often see heated battles where wealthy bidders fight to secure the finest examples. Stories circulate of lucky individuals who discovered one of these coins in an inherited collection or a roll of pennies purchased from the bank decades ago, transforming what seemed like pocket change into life-changing sums, and these tales continue to fuel the dream of coin enthusiasts everywhere. It's also important to understand that the value of the 1964 no-mint Mark penny doesn't come from silver or gold content, since pennies are primarily copper, but from rarity, uniqueness, and collector demand, Which is what makes numismatics so fascinating, because sometimes a tiny overlooked detail turns into a golden opportunity. Imagine pulling out an old coin jar from your grandparents' attic and finding a 1964 penny with a dramatic double-die obverse, sending it off for professional grading, and discovering it is worth hundreds of thousands at auction. That's the dream many collectors chase, and it's why people keep looking. Another dimension to this coin's mystique is the transitional period around 1964, because the mint was experimenting with changes in metal composition for other denominations like the dime and quarter due to rising silver prices. So era coins from this period are particularly prized as relics of a time when the mint was under immense pressure and mistakes inevitably happened. The grading system used by professionals plays a huge role in determining value, with coins graded by PCGS or NGC commanding higher trust and prices. And in the case of rare 1964 pennies, even a 1-point difference in grade can mean thousands or tens of thousands more in value, showing how condition and preservation are just as crucial as the era itself. Proof coins from 1964, although struck in smaller numbers, can also harbor unique mistakes like cameo contrasts or unusual toning that make them valuable in their own right. And when errors overlap with proof strikes, the results can be astronomical in value. Collectors also prize coins with strong provenance, meaning documented histories of ownership, because these add to their legitimacy and desirability. So what makes the $600,000 figure possible for a 1964 no-mint mark penny? It's the combination of rarity, condition, dramatic error, and collector demand all converging on a single coin, the kind of once-in-a-lifetime piece that can ignite bidding wars and command life-changing sums. And while not every 1964 penny will reach those heights, the mere possibility is enough to keep people hunting through their change and coin rolls with hope. The market for rare coins has only grown over the years, with more collectors entering the hobby, more awareness spreading through media and online platforms, and more money being invested into tangible historical assets like rare coins, all of which push prices higher. And unlike stocks or other investments, a coin is a physical object you can hold in your hand, making its value feel more tangible and real, which is part of its enduring appeal. The stories of individuals who struck gold with their coin finds inspire countless others, like the family who discovered an era penny in an inherited jar and sold it for 6 figures, or the collector who bought a roll of pennies at face value only to discover a rare doubled die worth thousands. And each of these tales adds to the legend of the 1964 penny. It's not just about money, though, it's about history, art, and the fascinating quirks of human error in manufacturing that turn a mass-produced coin into a one-of-a-kind artifact, and that's why these coins resonate so deeply with collectors. The thrill of discovery, the possibility of hidden fortune, and the connection to America's past all converge in this tiny copper disc, and the 1964 no-mint mark penny exemplifies that magic better than most. For anyone watching or listening, the key takeaway is to always check your coins carefully, use a magnifying glass, educate yourself about varieties and errors, and consider having potential finds authenticated and graded, because you never know when you might be holding a 6-figure treasure in the palm of your hand. The 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is proof that extraordinary value can hide in plain sight, and its story continues to inspire new generations of collectors to search, learn, and dream about the riches that could be waiting in their change jars, proof sets, or inherited collections. And it's this enduring allure that makes the 1964 penny one of the most legendary coins in numismatic history. Standing tall among the pantheon of rare and valuable American cents, forever captivating those who dare to look closely and believe that small things can hold unimaginable worth. Next, 1967 1-cent USA coin, another incredible deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, where today we turn our attention to yet another jaw-dropping discovery that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide, the 1967 no-mint mark 1-cent USA coin. A piece of copper that to the untrained eye looks no different from the billions of Lincoln cents minted during that year, yet in reality it can be worth as much as an unbelievable $700,000 when the right errors, mistakes, and conditions are present, transforming what most people would overlook in their change into one of the most valuable and desirable coins in numismatic history. So buckle up as we unravel the mystery, the history, the minting process, the varieties, and the incredible stories behind why a 1967 penny without a mint mark can achieve such astonishing value in the marketplace, and why you should never underestimate any coin that comes into your possession, because you might just be holding a life-changing fortune in your hands. The year 1967 is particularly fascinating in the world of American coinage because it was part of a transitional era when the United States Mint was undergoing significant changes in policy, production, and experimentation, having recently phased out silver from dimes, quarters, and half dollars in 1965 due to rising silver prices. And during this time, the Mint also suspended the use of mint marks on coins between 1965 and 1967 to discourage hoarding and speculation, which is why all 1967 pennies technically carry no mint mark regardless of where they were struck, making the challenge of identifying rarities even more intriguing for collectors. Despite the lack of mint marks, there were billions of these coins struck across various mints, which means that only specific era coins, unusual varieties, or coins in perfect condition can rise above the crowd, but when they do, the results can be spectacular, with collectors willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to secure them. And this is precisely why the 1967 no mint mark penny has become the stuff of legend. Among the most valuable 1967 era pennies are doubled die obverse coins where the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date show dramatic doubling visible even without magnification, and when these coins appear in pristine mint state condition they can ignite bidding wars at auctions and easily reach six-figure sums, sometimes climbing to that magical $700,000 range if the doubling is bold, clean, and rare enough. Another highly desirable error involves off-center strikes where the design is not properly aligned with the planchet, leaving part of the coin blank and creating a striking appearance that makes it a one-of-a-kind piece, with values soaring depending on the percentage of the off-center strike and the clarity of the details. And for dramatic 50% or greater off-center 1967 pennies in mint condition, collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts. Wrong planchet errors are another category that makes the 1967 penny legendary, because mistakes at the mint sometimes caused Lincoln cents to be struck on dime, nickel, or even foreign coin planchets, producing coins that are visually distinctive and immediately eye-catching due to their unusual size, weight, or coloration. And these off-metal strikes are so rare that they often command prices in the hundreds of thousands when they surface at auction. Then there are coins with clipped planchets where a piece of the coin is missing due to a misfeed during the minting process, coins with die breaks and cuts where sections of the die chipped away leaving raised blobs of extra metal on the coin, and coins with striking anomalies like broad strikes that extend beyond their rims. Each of these adding to the massive desirability and value of the coin because collectors crave uniqueness and history wrapped into one. The 1967 penny is also special because proof sets were struck that year in smaller numbers and proof coins are always held to a higher standard, so when errors sneak into proofs, such as doubled dies, improper cameo contrasts, or unusual toning, their rarity skyrockets. And these can be some of the most prized and expensive examples known to collectors, adding yet another layer to the mystique of this year's coinage. Condition, as always, is king in numismatics, and with 1967 being a year of heavy circulation, finding an untouched, gem-quality penny graded MS67 or higher is nearly impossible, which is why those rare survivors that do exist are so incredibly valuable, with each incremental jump in grade adding thousands or tens of thousands to the value. And this scarcity of high-grade coins combined with errors creates the perfect storm for astronomical auction prices. There are countless stories of people who stumbled across rare 1967 pennies in old rolls, inherited collections, or even pocket change and later discovered they were worth small fortunes, and these stories inspire millions to check their coins carefully, reminding us that treasure hunting doesn't always mean digging in the ground. Sometimes it's as simple as examining the coins in your own home. What drives the value of a coin like this is not its metallic content. After all, it is primarily copper. But its story, its rarity, its uniqueness, and the emotional thrill of owning a tangible piece of history that carries with it a narrative of human error, chance, and survival against the odds. And this is what collectors are truly paying for when they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a penny that others might ignore. The suspension of mint marks during 1965 to 1967 adds to the intrigue because it levels the playing field, meaning every coin must be judged not by where it was minted but by what unique qualities it has, and that makes each surviving era coin or high-grade specimen from 1967 even more fascinating and collectible. To put the $700,000 valuation into perspective, it is the result of rarity plus demand plus condition, a combination so rare that only a handful of coins will ever reach that mark, but it proves that even in a sea of billions of pennies, a few extraordinary examples can rise like treasures above the waves, commanding life-changing sums and igniting the dreams of those who dare to look closely. Imagine the excitement of a collector who purchases an unsearched roll of 1967 pennies only to discover a dramatic double-die obverse in flawless condition, a find that could catapult them into the numismatic spotlight and transform a 50-cent roll into nearly $750,000. And this dream is what keeps people searching, learning, and collecting. The 1967 penny's legacy is not just about money but about history because it represents a snapshot of America during a turbulent time of change, both in society and in coinage. And owning one of these rare errors is like holding a piece of that story in your hand, a reminder of the imperfections of human manufacturing and the unexpected treasures those imperfections can create. For collectors, it's also about pride, about being the steward of something so rare and remarkable that only a few will ever have the chance to own it, and that pride translates into higher and higher prices as wealthy enthusiasts compete for ownership. The growth of online marketplaces and global auctions has only fueled this demand further, bringing rare 1967 pennies into the spotlight, and making them accessible to a worldwide audience of collectors who are willing to push prices higher than ever before. Every detail matters, from the sharpness of the strike to the clarity of the error, from the originality of the surfaces to the presence of natural luster, and professional grading is the key to unlocking a coin's true potential value, with top-tier certifications from PCGS or NGC serving as the gold standard for authenticity and desirability. The $700,000 1967 penny isn't just a coin, it's a dream, a symbol of possibility, and a reminder that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary of places, and this is why its story continues to resonate so deeply with collectors, investors, and everyday people who dare to imagine that their change jar might hold a fortune. Whether it's a double die, an off-center strike, a wrong planchet error, or simply a flawless mint state survivor, the 1967 no-mint mark penny has earned its place among the legends of numismatics. A coin that proves the smallest details can create the greatest treasures, and its legacy will endure as long as collectors continue to search, hope, and dream.